at that for this coaching staff and this team. And, of course, Coach, as he always is on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Coach Triano, we thank you for your time. I have to ask you this question because a lot of people are asking us, wondering what's going on. There was a report that Harrison Barnes tweaked his ankle at practice today or tweaked his ankle at some point the last day or two. Any news on that front? Should people be concerned about HB's availability?
I don't think anybody should be too concerned. No, we went pretty hard yesterday, and he injured it a bit. And today it was more precautionary than anything, but he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. He's a guy that's going to fight through anything anyway. So I don't think anybody should be too concerned.
As you get prepared for this series, we were just talking about the experience factor in this series and the discrepancy in experience between the two teams. How much do you guys preach to these guys? You know, it's the playoffs, it's different. And how much of it is just getting ready for this like it's any other game and any other stretch or run in the schedule?
Well, you know what's really interesting is that Coach Brown from day one has talked not about getting into the playoffs, about being in the playoffs. And he has referenced it, whether it was the first week of the season or halfway through around the All-Star break, anything that we do. If we want to be a playoff team, if we're going to be successful in the playoffs, this is what we need to do. So, I think all year long we've kind of referenced everything that we do to what it was going to be like in the playoffs. I don't think that there's, too much more we can do. We don't have as much experience, so we're going to learn as we go through it. But this team has been a resilient team all year. We've been down in games and come back. We've had a bad game, and we haven't let it linger into a 5 or 6 game losing streak. So, I think, our focus and our attention to detail and the fight within our guys is really solid right now.
Coach Jay Triano with us here, Cattles and Ramie on this Thursday, Sactown Sports. Coach G-Man was on with the fellas this morning. This is a little bit of a telephone game, but I got a question out of it. G-Man relayed a story that Coach Laux told him that you guys were going to play at a pace that nobody has ever seen before. Is this a fight fire with fire kind of approach since Golden State is number one this year in pace? Do you expect this to be a breakneck kind of speed of a series?
Well, I think, we're going to try to do what we've done all year. We're not going to hang our heads when they make a shot. We're not going to, we're going to try to rebound the ball and take it out of the basket when we have to and push it up the floor and try to keep them on their heels a little bit. It's, their defense can be disruptive at times. If they're running backwards, it's hard to be disruptive. So our pace has always been something that we've worked on. We've tried to make it a staple for what we do this year, and we're going to continue with that. We know that they're going to run at us, and they play with great pace. But at the same time, we're not going to deviate from what we do and try to play games with them and do something that we haven't done for 82 games.
How much truth is there to the old narrative that the game gets more physical and slows down come playoff time, especially when you're talking about two teams like we're talking about here that like to get out and run?
Well, and watching the playing games over the last couple of nights, you can see that the games, there's less fouls called. The physicality is a lot more intense, and they're there. But again, I always say, fight a wrestler by being a dancer, and we've got to be quick. We've got to be elusive. We're not a real strong physical team, and our strength is going to be moving without the basketball and our quickness off the ball. Not only in the half court but in the full court. So we're gonna play at the pace that we have all year. We're not gonna try to play games and change a game.
Coach, just want to ask you: does this mean that if you were in the UFC and you were going against a wrestler, you would be dancing around the guy all night long? Is that your fight approach?
Oh, yeah. For sure. I would tire him out and having him try to chase me all over the place. I'm not letting him grapple. I'm not going to grapple.
Coach Triano with us. Coach, Steph Curry has had lots of success against you guys this year. Of course, Steph's had lots of success against a lot of teams throughout his career. I don't know if it's logical or possible to completely stop him, but when you go into a series like this, how do you attempt to at least limit him?
Well, I think there's a few ways. I mean, obviously, you want to try to give him different looks. You want to try to stay attached to him as much as you can. Be as physical as you can with him. He's going back to my last point, he's a very elusive player, so it's tough to be physical with him. But we have to try to be physical, hopefully wear him down over the course of a game, over the course of a series. So make him work at the other end of the floor. These are all the things that we've talked about. Of course, his talent is everybody knows how good he is. So limit what he can do. I mean, you're not going to shut him out, but make him work for everything that he gets. And I think the big thing for us is not fouling him. Don't give him the easy ones. Make him make tough shots over length.
Draymond Green has a reputation, shall we say, Coach, for talking a little bit, trying to get under folks' skin. Now, this appears to be a team throughout the season that is unflappable. Is that it has don't let Draymond get under your skin. Is that something that's been coached at all this week in getting ready for this series?
Well, I think everybody knows, and we as coaches and spectators, but the players know more than anything, what these guys are really like, and they know what Draymond's trying to do, and we can't fall into that trap of getting into an altercation or a verbal, spat with him and give them something that will motivate them even more. I think the big thing is, we're not going to back down from anybody, but I also, hope that we're not going to be making mistakes by losing our cool, by doing things that are going to hurt and jeopardize, because these playoffs, they come down to one or two possessions in a game, and those one or two possessions can swing not just a game, but they can swing a whole series. So, we've got to stay strong. We've got to stay mentally tough, and we know that he's going to challenge that in us.
Coach Jay Triano is with us here, Folsom Lake Honda Hotline, Folsom Lake Honda One-Stop Honda Shop. Just a few more for you, Coach. And again, we thank you for your time. When you have a situation like Andrew Wiggins happening, I'm not sure if or how much he's going to play, and I'm sure you guys are not totally sure how much or if he's going to play. How do you strategize for that? Because obviously the game plan might change with him out there and with him not out there.
Yeah, and one of the things that we're really prepared for is that a game plan that might change from game to game or as the series goes. We'll find out about Wiggins. All of the tape, almost all of the tape that we've watched has included him. We expect that he is going to play, and word out of San Francisco today is that he will probably play. They don't know whether he'll start or come off the bench, but I think they did a really good job of putting DiVincenzo in his position to keep everybody else's role the same. So it's going to change. He's an elite defender. He can shoot the ball. He's got the ability to shoot and take all the baskets. So obviously he's another guy that you have to worry about, but they've got a lot of guys that we have to worry about, and we're just going to try to be as sound as we can at the defensive end, and then see if we can run right back at them when and if they do score.
Yeah, when you talk about game plans and strategies changing over the course of the series, with a week leading up to the series, fans, guys and gals who do what we do for a living, we're looking at every angle, Coach, and we talk about rotations and who's going to play a big role in this series. Is that something that you kind of know before the series starts, or is that one of those things about the strategy that changes as the series goes along?
Well, it was interesting the other night because, Matthew Dellavedova talked to our players, and he talked about his experience in the playoffs and how he was a backup, and then all of a sudden one injury made him be a starter. And, so he doesn't play in one series, but you might be a factor in another series. And the same thing could happen within a game. We could change and think we need a little bit more length and go to somebody different. So, I go back to your earlier. I don't really have an answer to that. I think the game will change, and the series will change, and our strategies will change throughout games and throughout a series. But at the same time, you're exactly right. Everybody's had so much time to look at this, and we've looked at it as coaches. Obviously, we're breaking down every single night. Is like, how can we win? What more can we do? What more can we do? And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter what we have in our minds or what all the fans are thinking. It's how much can the players retain and try to do, and what can we give them to be successful without overloading them. We don't want to be, we call it paralysis by analysis.
Right.
We just keep breaking things down. We still have to go out there and play. And I really believe just watching the play-in games, and they don't have as much time to prepare, but it comes down to one or two offensive rebounds, a juice, a loose ball that's retrieved by somebody. And we just got to make sure that our hunger is there more than all the strategies that we have.
Last one for you, Coach, today. Complete this sentence for us. If we blank, it gives us the best chance to move on.
Shoot the ball well.
All righty, there you go. If we shoot the
That
ball
sums it
well,
up.
we will move on. Coach, it's always great to catch up with you. Can't wait to do it again. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Good luck. Of course, good health in this series. Everybody's watching. Everybody's fired up, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you. Oh, and Coach Triano left.
Off.
Coach Triano said, shoot the ball, and he hung up.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. Complete this sentence, Coach. If we blank, it gives us the best chance to move on. Shoot the ball well.
Hang up the phone.
Hang up the phone.
That's it. Done.
And we're
Enough
outta here.
said.
Enough said.
Say less, Coach.